Hey everybody, I'm Kate Conroy.
And I'm Vinny Cimitolo.
And this is Other People's Business, which is the podcast from the New Jersey Business and Industry Association, which is the largest statewide business association in the nation. I used to say country, but I think nation just sounds bigger, don't you?
Sure, I'll give you
I was
that.
asking you specifically. So we release a new episode every other Wednesday. Be on the lookout for those. Shout out to New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance Group. They do home, auto, and workers' comp, and they are the official sponsor of the show. So check them out if you need some updated coverage.
Awesome. Just a housekeeping matter, too, before we get this thing rolling. This podcast is available just about anywhere you can get a podcast. That's iTunes, Google Play, Amazon's TuneIn. We even throw these things up on YouTube if you'd rather watch than listen. But no matter how you check out the show, give it some love in any way you can. Like on it, comment on it, give us that 5-star review. Helps the algorithm on each respective network find more awesome listeners who are just like you. So with all that out of the way, our awesome guest today is Debbie Wolpov from MerX Payments. Debbie, say hi, let the audience hear your voice.
Hi, everyone. I'm honored to be here. You guys are true professionals. In my dream of dreams, I wish I had a voice that would translate on a podcast or radio, because I love speaking and I love connecting with people, and you guys do such a great job. So thank you for having me.
Aw, thank you. You sound fantastic. Don't worry about it.
You sound absolutely fantastic. Yeah. So we're going to keep that going. So the icebreaker today is, what are you currently binging? It can be books, movies, TV, food. Usually it's TV. Anybody want to go first?
I will. So my husband has been traveling. I've been wanting to get to finish Ozark and start Yellowstone, but he's been gone. So I'm doing chick flicks. I'm Emily in Paris right now, and I'm loving it.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah. Go ahead, Vin. You were going to say something.
No, I was going to say that's like the last couple months of my life, because my wife is obsessed with those like Hallmark Lifetime Christmas movies. And every year she kind of stretches out the period of time that she's going to watch them. It used to just be like a week around Christmas. Then it was like all of December. And now I don't know that it's ever going to stop. I feel like, she's just going to keep going until she sees them all. And they're all basically the same. It's like Christmas for the Prince, a Prince for Christmas, a Royal Christmas, a Christmas with Royals. They're basically trying to stretch out the story of Meghan Markle as hard as they can, as often as they can.
Yeah, and I mean, I love Meghan Markle, so I'm not mad at that, but
of course.
Yeah, it can be a lot. It can be a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get the sequels. It was like a Christmas Prince 2, a Christmas Prince 3, a baby for Christmas.
See, you need to travel more.
I guess so.
That's-
COVID, what are you going to do?
When my husband is around and we have time, then we do like the macho things. But
Ozark.
Yeah.
Vinny didn't know what Yellowstone was until I told him about it today.
Yeah, it's so weird.
I can't wait.
You ever hear a word and then, within the next few days, you just keep hearing that word, even though you only learned it like a day ago? I only learned about Yellowstone like an hour and a half ago, and now I've just heard it.
Yep.
Well, maybe we should start together, Vinny, and we'll have,
Sounds good.
our little WhatsApp group, and we could comment. Since
Absolutely.
we're so late to the party, which is, I always have fear of missing out. And with all these binge watching things, at one point I'm like, there are too many. I feel so left out. I just got to quit my job and just watch all day long.
Yes. Well,
unless it's something on the level of like The Mandalorian, where people are going to be dropping spoilers on Facebook that day, I think it's totally fine letting a few seasons go, catching up at your own pace. That's just fine.
I agree with you. I agree. But I haven't started Yellowstone yet either. So if you want to create a WhatsApp and we can do it together, I'm not opposed. That would be kind of fun.
That would
Sounds
be great.
awesome.
That would be really great.
Nice. Vin, what are you binging?
I just did Cobra Kai season 4. I'm a huge fan of Cobra Kai. I was there from the beginning, like when they were still some random show on YouTube. But this was the first year I'd say they kind of dropped the ball. Did you watch that at all?
I would say something much worse than drop the ball.
Yeah.
I would say that, yeah, well, I can't say it on the air.
I
quit.
You quit? Oh, no.
I got to episode 4 and I was like,
4.
this is just steaming dung heap, and I cannot go any further. And maybe someday I will, but it just got so bad. I was done.
It's
I
weird.
had that with Virgin River. Did you see
Yes!
Virgin River?
I
First
did.
season, I was hooked, and then the second season, I'm like, this is a bad,
It's a bad show.
program.
And the
Is that the one
scenery
with the
is beautiful.
doctor and she comes
Yes.
into like the random town? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So she watches, it was like Heart of Dixie and Virgin River,
Yep.
and I keep getting them confused because it's the same show. It's like a doctor that goes to a small like whatever town. So I call them like what is it, Heart of Virgin River? Because it's basically like the same thing. But yeah, I think she said one of them ended. Was it that one that ended?
I don't know. I gave up.
Oh, you gave up? Okay, yeah.
I threw in the towel. I said, this is
Yeah.
ridiculous. I have better things to do with my life.
I totally agree with you. I watched through the last season of Virgin River, and that will be the last season that I watch. There will be more seasons that come out. I'm done with it as a show.
Yeah, I hate to be a quitter.
You're right.
I really do. I power through. I've done marathons. Like, I don't quit, I just power through. But after COVID or coming out of COVID, time is so precious.
Life is
Am I
short.
really going to spend it that way?
Yeah.
Nope. That's
It's sort
how,
of like when you're reading a bad book and you're really struggling through it. Eventually you just have to drop it. I mean, there's so much good television, so many great movies out there. If you're not enjoying a show, there's no need to finish it.
That's right.
It's funny you say that because I'm obsessed with the Outlander series. I've read all the books and I've watched every single episode. Season 6 is coming out, but she just dropped book 8. I think it's 8. And it's adequate. But then I'm like, I can't.
If you're that invested
quit.
though, like you're 7-8 books in.
Jamie and Claire, I just can't quit. So I save that for my middle of the night reading. When you roll over and you're like, oh, it's time to get up, and you're like, oh, it's only 2 a.m. So I usually read from like 2 to 3 a.m. on those sleepless nights, and so I'm at 76%. I'm so close.
So this is a whole nother conversation because I quit Outlander as well. I think I'm midway through season 2, and Claire is just unreasonable. Like, she makes really dumb decisions because she's, quote unquote headstrong. No, she's unreasonable and reckless, and I cannot deal with her. I'm sorry. I'm done.
Yes, but I love Jamie comes in and saves the day, especially when he's wearing his kilt and no shirt.
What about his uncle? I can't remember his name, but
not Murdoch. Murdoch, no. It was his godfather, the uncle, one of the Mackenzies.
What was his name? He was bald. It doesn't matter. I was not mad at watching him. I'll just say that.
No. And Grant, his name is Graham. They have a series together, which I've watched also because I'm so obsessed, where they go to different places in Scotland. And once this pandemic is over, my husband promises to take me to go see those guys in Scotland.
That's a successful binge. Any TV show watching that gets you a cross-continental trip.
Heck yeah.
It's beautiful. It looks beautiful.
It is. I was there once. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I couldn't quit Ralph Macchio. I don't know what to tell you. I did watch the whole season all the way through.
And he hasn't aged. How's that possible? Right? How is that possible?
Deal with the devil.
It's that eternal baby face.
It's so infuriating.
But I think the secret to why it got bad was that every season they've kind of pulled back from another Karate Kid movie. And this time they really focused on 3 with like Terry Silver and all that. And Karate Kid 3 just wasn't a terribly good movie. So if you're going to base a show on that, like you can't expect to, get like great lemonade from a bad lemon. So
right. If it's rotten, it's rotten. You're not going to put it in your body whole or some of its parts.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Kate, did we get to you though?
No. So I'm binging a show that's a little random. It started as a BBC show. It's called Ghosts, and it sounds kind of like Ghost Hunters or something, but it's not. It's a comedy. It's like a half-hour comedy, and it's about this couple who inherit an old house kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and they are, you know, struggling professionals, no kids, trying to find an apartment actually in the first episode, and then they inherit this house, and it's a haunted house, but they don't know it because nobody, you know, they can't see the ghosts. Well, but then she like trips and falls and hits her head pretty hard. She has a concussion and she's in like a coma for 2 weeks. And apparently, so the story goes, she was so close to death in the presence of all of these spirits that when she wakes up from the coma, she can see ghosts. So all of a sudden she has to like live in this haunted house with these ghosts who are like bickering with each other, and they've all died at different various times in history. So there's like a Viking ghost, and there's a Regency ghost, and there's a 1980s
Boy Scout ghost.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a Boy Scout ghost. There's a guy
Adult,
who was
like I shouldn't, not a kid, like the troop leader. Yeah.
troop leader, right? Exactly.
In
There's
the shorts, in the whole outfit,
yeah,
the little
in
shorts.
like the neckerchief and everything, and he's got an
One
arrow.
of the kids, yeah, like one of the kids shot an arrow through his neck. That's how he died. So he permanently has
Oh,
the
geez.
arrow sticking out.
Right. So the BBC version is available on HBO. It's 3 seasons. It's fantastic. And there's a US version that's now available on CBS or Paramount.
Yes,
Paramount
yes,
Plus,
I
yeah.
thought so.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. In fact, they just got picked up for season 2, and literally and they were filming telling the actors that they got. I was as excited as the actors who were like jumping up and down excited that they got picked up.
I threw on the first episode of the American one, and I watched it, and I told my wife, I was like, this is the kind of thing you would love. You should check this out. And she's like, no, I'm not interested. So I'm like, all right. So I went a few more episodes, and I checked back. I was like, are you sure? Because this is like a you thing, you know, you sure? No. Okay, fine. So I finished that, and then I got halfway through the British one, and then she caught an episode, and she's like, this is hilarious. So we had to binge the whole thing all over again, which is...
Oh my God, that's true love.
yeah,
Lucky
exactly.
you. Lucky
I did
you.
text Kate. I was like, hey, you should check out this show, because Kate's got like a whole British thing, you know. She's quite the expert on the British royals. So I was like, this is kind of like a British thing, but like American humor. It stars Rose McIver from iZombie, who is horrible.
That's how I know her. I was
Yeah, she's got a
literally
supernatural shows thing going on. But I was like, Kate would love this too. Let me text Kate. And, you know, like a lot of times, you know, like you'll recommend a show to somebody, and then maybe like 6 months later, if at all, they checked it out. Within like a day, Kate was like, okay, I'm like halfway through.
Yes, I do have to give you props. You were the person who told me that I should watch it, and you were so right. It is fantastic. Yeah.
Kate's waiting for another snowstorm or an ice storm to finish it.
100%. 100%.
I think I need one too. It's funny, I saw it on TV, I saw it advertised on CBS, and I'm like, this doesn't look very good. They don't do it, but now that you recommended it, it's on my to-do list, that's for sure.
Yeah, usually the stuff I like gets canceled, so I get really skittish about that. But when, like she said, it got picked up, so, you know, maybe they just have like bad commercials, but it really is, it's worth it. Definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Especially since the American one, there's only like, what is it, 8, 9 episodes or so?
Yeah, they're not very
And,
deep. One.
I want to say they're the 30-minute shows with commercials, right? So like you can get through that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went back 6 months ago, 8 months ago, I don't remember. Redid Arrested Development from beginning to
I'm
end.
meaning to do that. I love Jason Bateman so much. And,
Oh my
you know,
God, I
like,
love him so much. Do you listen to his podcast, Smart List, with Will
no, but
Arnett?
I didn't know there was a
and Sean
podcast, but I'm
Hayes?
totally down.
I had no idea. I gotta check it out.
What's it called?
Oh,
What's it called?
Smart List. Sean Hayes from Will and Grace, and Will Arnett from Arrested Development and all the other stuff that he does.
Oh
It
my
is
God.
so funny. I mean, they bring on a guest. One of the hosts brings on a guest, but it's a surprise guest, so the other two don't know about it. And so they're not very prepared, but they are so funny. I think comedians are one of the smartest groups on the planet, because usually I have like a reply like 5 hours later. Oh, I should have said that, right? They're so quick-witted, and they can just
Yep.
definitely, whatever the conversation, whatever the topic, make it so enjoyable. Another WhatsApp group I see
Okay.
for Smartless. Yes.
Okay. Nice. Thank you for the tip.
Yes.
All right, we're definitely going to do that. But in the meantime, I should probably move to MerX Payments. Tell me a little bit about what you do.
MerX Payments, yes.
MerX Payments. Sorry, I said Marks, but yeah,
It's
MerX.
okay. MERX is Latin for merchant, so it's merchant processing. I help businesses take these things,
Nice.
money out of your bank account and into theirs at the most efficient, effective way. I've been doing it over a decade, touched thousands of clients, saved millions of dollars for those clients. Technology has transformed over the years as I've been doing it, but relationships and customer service is always paramount. And so that's what sets me, my business apart. And, you wake up every morning with the intention, and what is your intention? To do good and to be good. And so I hope I live that in my life and in my profession.
I can say, I have watched you move through the world for a few years now, and I can say that that is exactly what I see. You live that mantra, and it is amazing because, that industry is not always so nice, and you are so like doing good for my clients, picking up every single phone call, fixing every problem. Like, it is no joke to you.
No, and truth be told, it is and has been a competitive field. Banks offer it, merchant processors offer it, and it was, a little unsavory and not.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what's important? I got to look at my face when I'm washing my, in the mirror, and I know that I have to do what I say and say what I do. And these relationships with my clients are more than just that. I've developed such strong friendships to the point, I've watched my customers' puppy. I've picked up my friends.
That's pretty above and beyond. Let me just tell you.
I picked up my friends' triplets numerous times. And here was a person that said, I already have merchant services. I don't need your help. Meanwhile, I starred in one of his commercials and we've become such good friends. So to me, it's really important to develop those relationships and make a difference in their bottom line results.
I'm trying to imagine myself calling up a company's customer service line and then being like, well, how can I help you, Mr. Civil? And be like, actually, I could really use somebody to watch my dog.
No, I offer. If they're housebroken and they're cute and really, I prefer non-shedding, but if, it's not.
All right, so there are some boundaries there. There's a line or two.
A few. The truth is, I love animals. I love children. My animals are gone. May you rest in peace, all you wonderful doggies. And my children are grown and living in the city, except they did come back for 8 months during COVID. And then I was like, whoa, I gotta cook, I gotta clean, I gotta work, oh my man.
It was a monkey's paw situation. Be careful what you wish for.
Well, my husband, why are you getting up so early? Don't you want to shorten your day? I'm like, I gotta work out before the next person gets on the Peloton, so they need breakfast, I need to work. So yes, I've had the time since they've graduated and gone their separate ways. So I don't know if I'd be that generous watching other people's kids and dogs while I had my own to care for.
That's fair. I think that's totally 100% fair.
I'm brutally honest, so it's true.
Fair. I love it. And we should say that you are one of the brand new co-chairs of NJBIA's Women Business Leaders Council, which is very exciting. You have already brought so much energy and good ideas and enthusiasm to the group. We are thrilled. I'm just going to say that. thrilled.
Well, we're having a lot of fun with it. As you know, I was very active, and I still am very active in the Morris County Chamber of Commerce. I ran their Women in Business program for 3 years, so I have a little street cred in that area. And if I could bring knowledge and support and guidance, it's my pleasure. And I love working collaboratively, especially with the ladies on the WBLC.
Yeah, you got it. And we should give them a shout out. It's Rosanda Torres, who's been on the show before. It's Clelia Pergola, who's been on the show before, and Lorena Mosquera of Paradigm Marketing, who's also been on the show. So yeah, it just took you coming onto that group, and all of a sudden you got a show.
I got a show. I've always wanted my own show.
We'll be guests if you ever get it together.
Yeah, if you ever have a show, we'll definitely come on.
Oh my God, our version of Smartless.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Wait till you listen to it.
Can't wait.
You're just gonna crack up. Especially if you're having a bad day. Not that anyone ever has a bad day.
Never.
But if you have a bad day, a little bit of humor just changes the conversation in your head.
Love it.
It helps you.
Absolutely.
You know, being in sales also, it's not easy to take rejection. It's not easy to have something go wrong. You're a people pleaser. So, you know, a little humor just uplifts the soul.
I think that's the mission statement of this show.
Oh, I love that.
To get back to the WBLC, I don't think our president and CEO, Michelle Skirka, would mind if I say that the WBLF is probably the most exciting thing we do as a company all year. So the WBLC, from what I understand, is really trying to keep that momentum, that energy going all year round. Talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, Debbie, go for it.
Well, you know, we are trying to bring great speakers to our monthly meetings, elevate our members and attendance, and really, you know, I always said it's really important when you have a speaker and you have these type of events, 2 things to happen. One, you take one great piece of advice and you channel it and incorporate it into what you're doing. And it could change your whole trajectory. I'll give you an example in a minute. And the other is the networking, and to make one good connection, you have no idea where those connections are gonna go. So first, you know, we, at WIB, we had a speaker, and she talked about, you know, there's no such thing as work-life balance, especially for working moms. So, you know, 100% focused here, 100% focused here, and how you sort of lose some of that, you know, gusto when you're multitasking, and say a problem arises. Well, her philosophy was to put it on the calendar in 3 weeks. And, you know, because you have customers calling and this happens and that happens. Will it really be an issue in 3 weeks? No, it was, you know, you missed your deposit because it was a holiday. So, you know, you bounced a check, but, you know, you should have known it was a holiday. But in 3 weeks, it won't matter. So incorporating just like one piece of advice that can really shift your mindset and make you more productive, and you know, because you could really go on a tangent. Oh my God, you know, whatever the issue is. And then the second thing is, you never know where an introduction will lead. So I, through the entire COVID, did Table for Four, met a gentleman who was in IT, who introduced me to someone who introduced me to a client that became one of my biggest accounts of 2021. And they had realized savings of close to $100,000 a year.
Oh my God, that's
so
not
you never know.
bad.
You never know who you know. You never know who you get connected to. You never know where it will go.
That's exactly right. Wow.
So that's always my goal with these talks, events, seminars, luncheons.
Yep. The WBLC is like a really good combination of professional development and personal development. And actually, we made a decision to kind of supersize the meetings. So they used to be just an hour. And starting this month in February of 2022, they're going to be an hour and 15 minutes, because an hour just wasn't enough time for the presentation and Q&A and networking. So for starting now, the presentation and Q&A will be the first hour, and then we're tacking on a little extra 15 minutes for some networking, and we're excited about it. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. All right, so.
We'd invite you, Vinny, but, you know.
It's okay.
Poor Vinny. Vinny gets to come to the forum. Actually,
I do. I'm always behind the scenes. You never know I'm there, but I'm usually working the
oh,
back
Vinny, trust me, we know you're there.
we know. All right, I think on that note, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back. And we're back, and we're going to ask a second get-to-know-you question now, and that question is, if you were stranded on a deserted island, what celebrity would you want to be stranded with you? And does anybody want to go first, or I could go first?
Well, I do have a question.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Will I be judged if I say male or female?
No, mine is male. Mine is male.
Oh, I'd like to. Wait,
I was going to say mine is male too, but you know, I don't know.
So mine is Daniel Craig, because I figure it would be good to have somebody who's kind of muscly to do the heavy lifting. And that's the only reason that I would choose Daniel Craig.
I like that.
That's the only reason. That's the only reason.
just somebody muscly, you know, good for lugging firewood around, I guess. I don't know, building shelter.
Well, I these days I have a huge girl crush on Gwyneth Paltrow. I cannot believe how talented she is on screen. She can even sing, and what a savvy business professional she is. And she is really changing the dialogue, changing the dialogue with sex, changing the dialogue with, health and nutrition. So I just think that we would have a great time, and I would learn so much from her, but she is flawless, and I do love her. So
Flawless is an interesting word to describe Gwyneth Paltrow. I don't know. I want to throw a lot of shade at her. I don't know. I wouldn't mind having a conversation with her and being like, so at what point did you decide to start like selling women on the idea of, what is it, steaming your lady parts? You know, I don't know. Making money off of this.
I really want the title of this episode to be Steaming Your Lady Parts.
I don't know that we're going to get that through. You know, but yeah,
you know what?
Flawless is definitely an interesting word.
It sells.
She's a good businesswoman, for sure.
She's a really savvy business person.
Yes.
I'll tell you, I've enjoyed some of her movies. You know, the Iron Man stuff was great. She would, I want to say, she broke out in Hook. You know, so she hasn't really. Now that I'm thinking about it, she hasn't really been in all that much. It's been like huge.
Was she in Hook?
She was like young Wendy. That was like her big breakout role, I want to say.
No idea.
I remember.
I wouldn't even say breakout role.
Love. Oh, I loved her in
Shakespeare in Love was the big one.
Shakespeare in Love is the one that I remember. Yeah. Actually, okay, Vin, you go, and then I have an addendum.
All right, so Kate gave me a heads up about this a few hours ago, and I've been thinking about it, and I went in two directions. It would either be Bear Grylls, so that, like, you know, because I don't know what I'm doing out in the wilderness. Like, I'd probably be dead in like 2 or 3 days. So there needs to be somebody that knows what they're doing, and that guy seems to have like a good head on his shoulders about surviving in the wilderness. And then the other direction was just like nobody at all. Because if I'm gonna die like 2 or 3 days from now, like alone in the wilderness, at least it could be peace and quiet. You know?
Amazing.
My first instinct was to think like a comedian, like somebody who could just make it funny. And then I was like, they probably wouldn't shut up, and I wouldn't be able to enjoy myself. You know?
Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and Sean Hayes.
Yeah.
Jason Bateman's got that dry, deadpan sense of humor, though. So he'd be like, yeah, we're going to die.
And they pick on him so much. It's so funny. They do. They pick on him. It's really funny.
Wow. I just subscribed. I cannot wait to listen.
Like already in this episode, you're like, hold on, let me subscribe to this show.
I totally did. I was multitasking just ever so slightly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What about you?
You're really good at it. Just saying. You had eye contact. You're just like.
I know. I was like, yeah. So, Mama.
You can tell you're younger than I am. I'm like, wait, I can't see. I need my.
I know. I'm getting there, man. I'm getting there. Getting old. Anyway, I was going to say my addendum. What is Ross Matthews? Do either of you know who Ross Matthews is?
No, but I could kind of put my hands off to the side here and multitask and like Google them, right?
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah, he is Gwyneth Paltrow's best friend. He used to be an intern on The Late Show with Jay Leno, and as a gag, as an intern, the producers decided to put him on a red carpet to cover the red carpet, and he just started, he was hilarious, just accidentally. He just says the funniest damn stuff that comes into his brain. He'll just say it.
It definitely
So,
looks familiar. Yeah.
So he.
Oh, you're multitasking too?
Yeah, I did a lot less subtle job of it. I was like over here. Like,
yeah, that also.
So apparently he saw George Clooney on the red carpet once, and he like went, Jorge! Just silliness.
Oh, well, if this wasn't being filmed and my husband wasn't hearing, I'd vote for George Clooney to be stranded on Desert Island, but I couldn't tell you the reasons why on this. Because
No.
this is
Sure.
for PG. I'm thinking R and X rated, so.
Just say
I don't have a
muscly.
good enough segue to get from that to the next question, so I'm just gonna drop it on the table.
Do it.
I did want to bring it back to MerX for a second. So a lot of times I'll walk into a store or a restaurant or something and they don't take credit and I just walk right out. What do you guys have for companies like that?
Ooh. I am getting a spam and I
Aren't
can't
those the worst?
take my phone off my watch and everything rings. So I'm glad you asked that question. There are a lot of new compliant ways of passing along the fees so the customer absorbs and there's no expense to the merchant. So there's really no barrier to entry. And usually it's a small ticket. So if it's 3.5%, you have a $10 transaction, 35 cents isn't going to make or break you. It could make or break the merchant as it adds up with all his customers throughout the day. So yes, we have different solutions depending on the needs of the merchant and their clients. There could be links for payments, convenience fees, there could be surcharging, cash discount. Whatever my client needs, I will do it in a compliant manner and make sure that it has compliant for PCI reasons, and also that their clients are aware through signage and through the websites whether or not there will be a surcharge, convenience fee, tech fee, whatever you want to call it. So yeah,
That's good. Yeah.
I can't believe that businesses don't take credit cards because especially during COVID, no one wants to touch cash. Cash could potentially have germs, and the transaction is so much quicker. You ring up a sale, you just swipe your little phone. In a second flat, the transaction goes through, money goes out of your wallet into their bank account, and you're on your way, especially if you're handling food and you're handling cash and I used to go to this bagel store. They used to like take the bagel, make the sandwich, take the money, like not even take off the gloves. And that was before COVID. So I can't even imagine now.
No, I don't own a business, but if I did, I wouldn't want to put barriers in between people and giving me money. Like I'd want to make that as easy as possible. Because I don't carry cash around, and you'd have to imagine most people don't. It's 2022 right now. Like if I walk into your place and you have a sign up that says like no credit card, like I'm just boggled. Like how could you do? Why would you want? I don't know. I don't get it at all. Yeah, half the time I just do. Especially, I mean, sometimes I'll tolerate it if there's an ATM on site, but even then, I'm just like, really? Because now instead of paying, like you mentioned, passing it on to the consumer, now instead of paying that 35-cent fee, I got to pay the $1.50 or whatever to the ATM. It's ridiculous,
Yeah, and then that gets you more upset. Yeah. Absolutely, there should be no barrier to entry, and the merchant gets their money next day. I mean, what's faster than that?
Yeah.
Exactly right.
All right, well, Debbie, if somebody wants to take advantage of that or maybe even sign up for the WBLC, how do they get a hold of you?
Oh, that's easy. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, but my phone number is always available and my email. So my email is dwolpov at MerX Payments, MERX Payments with an S www.yellowstone.com. And my phone number is 201-538-6014. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn and social media, so please connect. I'm always looking to connect.
Awesome.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Well, I think that's the show. Thank you to our listeners, especially our subscribers. We so appreciate the support. Thank you to New Jersey Manufacturers Insurance Group, the official sponsor of the show. They do home, auto, and workers' comp, so check them out. And finally, thank you to Debbie Wolpov of MerX Payments for joining us today. It was fabulous.
It was so much fun. We should do this more often.
I agree.
Absolutely. We'll get started on Yellowstone.
All right. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Wait, I just downloaded Wordle. Did you download Wordle?
I didn't do it today. I've only missed a day.
I talk about games. I'm not very good. I'm like questioning my mental ability and aptitude.
I saw a headline about it. What is Wordle?
Oh, Wordle
is,
just got purchased by the New York Times, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it was like low 7 figures or something, so.
Yeah.
It's a word puzzle game. They give you 5 blank. You know what it is? It's like Hangman kinda, but it's always a 5-letter word. You guess a 5-letter word, and then it tells you, no, that wasn't it, but here are a couple letters that were in the real word. And so then you just kind of keep guessing words until you figure out the right word. You get 6 chances. If you've seen on social media all the things where people put on those like weird green and yellow block things like that you don't know what they are, that's Wordle. They're telling you how many guesses it took. And by the way, we should have like a whole episode where we talk about Wordle because like it gets under my, like I play the game, but I don't see why people need to share like every day. Like, okay, here's how many things it took me to get to like the Wordle today, you know?
Oh, I wouldn't share. I'm so terrible.
Yeah.
I don't think I would either.
I'm going to share when I'm confident. You know, like,
Yeah. I'm usually the type like I only got one wrong. Like, you know, since I started doing it, and I want to say I've been doing it for like 20 days, I missed one day. But other than that,
I'm impressed.
in the beginning, I was usually more the kind of person who would deliberately do wrong words just to kind of get the letters out of the way. Like, all right, I want to get all my vowels. I want to, you know, even if I already know, like, okay, this word wouldn't be it. Like, I'm just gonna guess the word. So like doing that, I always got it. And now for more of a challenge, I'll try to get it in as few words as possible. So
I have a suggestion.
Okay.
I think you should try out for Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, that was always my game. Like for real.
I see
Growing
that.
up, like I could always, you know, like if we were gonna watch Wheel of Fortune, I'd always be that person that just nailed the thing like really early. I would go on there and I'd probably like spin and hit bankrupt like every single time.
No, you wouldn't.